Welcome to tonight's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Weather Guard Truck Race at Bristol Motor Speedway. Under the lights and in this evening's 250-lap truck race, it is going to be a very fun one to watch. Kyle Larson trying to go for the triple once again as he did at Homestead a couple of weeks ago, coming one race shy of that, winning the said truck race that weekend. We'll see if he can go 2 for 2 in the Truck Series season here tonight. Corey Heim, who's dominated the last two races, has not been able to go to victory lane. Can he dominate a third and maybe get to victory lane here tonight and redeem himself from the Larson victory a few weeks back? Daniel Hemrick trying to go for back-to-back wins. He will be starting on the pole. Practice and qualifying was washed out earlier this afternoon, but no rain in the forecast for the nighttime here at Bristol, Tennessee. So we will get this full 250-lap race in uninterrupted. Very cool evening, 47-degree air temp. Wind chill is below 40. It is a cold night in Tennessee, but it is going to be a fun night because it's Bristol, baby, and we're live right here on KRC. Thanks for everybody tuning in here this evening. Our first of 4 live commentary streams for this weekend at Bristol Motor Speedway, Food City 500 weekend, if you will, for our spring event for 2025. We'll go through the starting lineup for this race today. We just wrapped things up with the national anthem moments ago, right as I was going live. And the command to fire engines will be heard on the other side of the Fox Sports 1 commercial break. Again, there you have it. Fox Sports 1 will be the viewing coverage of this race, but we'll have full flag-to-flag commentary right here for you on KRC per usual. William Wiley, Bradley Thomas, Tracy Young, and many others, welcome into the stream, everybody. Our light goal will be for 50 here this afternoon. Well, tonight, I guess. It's afternoon skies because it's sunny where I'm at right now, but it's going to be dark here within the next half hour, as it will be at Bristol Motor Speedway. Overcast skies for this one here today. It'll be a little bit warmer during the daytime tomorrow and Sunday at Bristol Motor Speedway, but definitely very cool here tonight. Very sparse crowd. A lot of people maybe staying home, staying warm. But appreciate you guys from the comfort of your own homes tuning in for tonight's stream as well. I do have to get the chat up on my phone real quick, so I do not have that going. And I also didn't put up the poll. Let me do that. I'll ask you guys who you think is going to win tonight's truck race, and you'll have until the end of stage 2. Tonight's truck race. Bristol. I'm torn between taking either Corey Heim or Kyle Larson myself. We'll put Lane Riggs in here, actually. So he's been very good on the short tracks. And those were the top 3 trucks when Kyle Larson raced at Homestead a few weeks ago as well. Larson, Heim, and Riggs. And you can vote for other if you think somebody other than those 3 will win. But those should be the 3 favorites coming into this one here today. And again, no practice or qualifying that was supposed to take place earlier this afternoon, but it did not happen. Heim actually led the most laps in the summer Bristol race last year, but it was Lane Riggs getting the victory, second of which in his Craftsman Truck Series career. He's yet to go to victory lane yet this season, though he's been close a couple of times, including at Homestead a couple of weeks ago where he finished second. Now, obviously, that would boost his way into the playoffs if he is to go to victory lane. Here's Todd Bodine, who caught up with him a little earlier. Once I find my controller. There we go.
Practice on this track. Yeah, I mean, this is my first time actually racing on a track besides the Super Speedway where I didn't get any practice. But if we're going to do it, I think this is the place to do it. We won here last time. Got the exact same chassis, exact same setup. We're basically rolled it out of the trailer just like we rolled it in there with the trophy last year. So, yeah, just good to have Love's RV stock back on the truck here, trying to get him a back-to-back win. I know got a lot of people here tonight. In front of Motorsports, everybody's doing a great job this year. So I'm just excited to come back somewhere that got a little bit of swagger out. All right. Lane Riggs trying to get 2 in a row at Bristol.
John, I love how he said it there.
Ken Edwards, welcome to the stream as well. Greetings from Canada. Base Tugboat 2675, welcome to the stream as well. So tomorrow's race doesn't turn into Martinsville 2.0. I don't believe it will. Bristol for the Truck and Xfinity Series, especially in recent years, has not yielded as many cautions as we've seen at Martinsville with these two series. We did have 10 cautions in the truck race and then 15 in the Xfinity race at Martinsville just last week. Should say 2 weeks ago. Trucks coming in off and off week. Daniel Hemrick got the win in the first race of the Triple Truck Challenge. This is race 2 of 3 for the Triple Truck Challenge, and the finale of which will be next weekend at Rockingham. If any of the truck regulars go to victory lane here today, they will get a bonus $50,000 added to their already winner's purse for the evening. But if Daniel Hemrick wins because he won the first race of the Triple Truck Challenge, he could go for $150,000. If you win 2 of the 3 races, you get $150,000 bonus for the second win. Obviously, $50,000 for the first win. If you win all 3, and if he can pull the sweep out at Bristol and Rockingham, $500,000 bonus for Daniel Hemrick. And I don't think anybody's ever pulled off all 3 since the Truck Series has had this Triple Truck Challenge. And I believe the first year they did it was 2019. Several drivers have won 2, but nobody's won all 3. So we'll see if Daniel Hemrick can do it. He only led a couple laps at Martinsville en route to his victory there, so you just never know. And with qualifying getting rained out and the ability to be able to start up at the front of the field yet again, we'll see if he can pick up where he left off. So 65 laps will be in Stage 1 and Stage 2 tonight. Then we'll go the rest of the way to the finish in Stage 3 after the fact. Obviously, no pit stops during Stage 1 or Stage 2 under green flag conditions. Stage 3 should be able to make it on a full tank of gas. It'll be kind of tight from the start of the stage, but caution laps at the end of Stage 2 and any other caution laps we see in Stage 3, they should be able to make it. So only pit stops will be taking place during caution for tonight's race. And we'll go through the full field starting lineup. I mentioned already a couple times Daniel Hemrick will be on the pole. Tyler Ankrum also on the front row, his teammate, and he will be starting in the second place position. Row 2 will be Chandler Smith and Corey Heim. Heim, a former Bristol winner in the Truck Series and already a 2-time winner this season. Jake Garcia, Ben Rhodes, the 2 ThorSport Racing trucks in row 3. Stuart Friesen and another ThorSport truck of Ty Majeski in row 4. Our defending Bristol winner in the Truck Series, Lane Riggs, inside of row 5 with Andres Perez to the outside. And Kyle Larson running triple duty this weekend will start inside of row 6 in the 07 for Spire Motorsports alongside his teammate for tonight, Raja Karuth. Brandon Jones also running the truck race as well as the Xfinity race tomorrow. So double duty for him and the one for Tricon Garage. He'll be inside of row 7, and he'll have a Tricon teammate also in that row, rookie Gio Ruggiero. Matt Mills with Dawson Sutton make up row 8, row 9 for Tanner Gray, Spencer Boyd, and row number 10 will be Jack Wood and Bailey Curry. Into the back half of the field now will be Luke Fenhouse in the 66, Caden Honeycutt in the 45 in row 11. Row 12 is Justin Carroll and Grant Enfinger. Connor Mosak and Patrick Staropoli will be in row 13. Matt Kraft and Tony Breidinger in row 14. Corey Day and Nathan Bird will be in row 15. Behind them in row 16 will be Tyler Tomasi and Stefan Malozzi. Frankie Muniz and Norm Benning in row 17. And Parker Klugerman will be making his first truck start of the season, second truck start of the season, first since Daytona, where he crossed the line in first, unfortunately failed post-race inspection, so he ended up with a last place finish and looking to have a good run here tonight in the 75. But he'll be bringing up the rear of the field, and again, that is your full 35 truck starting lineup for this evening's Weather Guard truck race at Bristol. Sid Vick, welcome to the stream as well. Just tuned in, are we on a rain delay? Nope, we are getting ready to set things up on our regular scheduled start time. Practice and qualifying got rained out earlier, but a lot of the rain had moved out well prior to the drop of the green flag for tonight's race. There are some drops in the area, but should stay clear enough for us to get this race in at the very least. And it looks like the FS1 booth will be dialing up somebody. It looks like pole sitter Daniel Hemrick, so you'll get to listen into that quickly.
Hey, man, you just came off your first win. Obviously, there's a lot of momentum there. You did an amazing backflip. But tonight, there's a lot of unknowns. But one thing we know for you, you got the big bucks on the line. How you feel?
Yeah, we're good. It's good to have an opportunity. So thanks, Craftsman, for that. It's good to get the first two y'all more back in the train team, generate team, all in each other. So we get away from the HR there, get blocked, especially, yeah, a lot of unknown tonight. Gonna need, big chief on board. Eight, not the guy I'm seeing right now. Let's try to be fluid and adapt as the night goes on here.
All right, man. Well, good luck in there.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks.
Well, we talked about Kyle Larson. He's trying to complete this sweep this weekend. Michael, let's go.
Yeah, we're with Kyle. Kyle Larson, it's Michael Waltrip and the Fox team. Do you copy, buddy?
Brad? Yeah, I got it. It's the barrel. We go back to your steering wheel later.
That guy was telling you about some barrels. I just got a quick question. You're going for the triple tonight, or starting tonight. How do you feel about this racetrack right now and this weekend in general?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited about the weekend, excited about another opportunity to really just race, but to try to win some more. And I love Bristol, so hopefully get off to a good start tonight. I know it'll be really tough. I don't really know what the track is going to do. This is the first laps on it, so I'm sure it'll be pretty fast from the bottom. But yeah, hopefully our IndyCars.com Chevy with Fire Motorsports is strong. Yeah, we can finish up front sometime.
I'm sure that's in the near future. Appreciate you talking with us and have a good night, bud.
Yeah, thank you, Mikey.
All right, let's take a look now at the starting grid sponsored by Mother's High Performance Car Care. We talked about it. There was no qualifying earlier, so it's set by the metric. Daniel Hemrick will lead the field to green outside front row. Tyler Ingram at teammate.
They've got a pretty strong second row here. Corey Heim, we talk about him every week, leading so many laps, looking to shake that bad luck that he's had. Starting next to Chandler Smith, who I think will be pretty strong tonight as well.
Row 3 is coming off a couple top fives at Martinsville. Great runs for Ben Rhodes and Jake Garcia. They'll look to charge to the front from row 3. You see Tom Majeski, I'm going to keep my eye on him, so he's always good on these short tracks. And Stuart Friesen off to a great start this season.
Then you see they're in lane row 5, Lane Riggs, coming off the win here. Last time he was here, he's feeling strong. Andreas Perez right next to him, ready to get it going.
All right, let's say hello to our pit reporters on all the action tonight. Todd Bodine and Josh Sims. Good evening, Josh. I hope you're warm.
Well, good evening, Jamie. It's been a tough two-race stretch for Corey Heim and this 11 team. They were absolutely dominant in the last two races at Martinsville and Homestead, but factors outside of Corey Heim's control kept him out of victory lane. When I caught up with him earlier, he said, yes, those races were frustrating, but the good thing is they were really good points days, and it helps to also have 2 wins already in the bag. When we come to a place like Bristol, he's already got a win here. In fact, he's never finished outside the top 10 at this track, so look for the 11 to try and get a little get back out here tonight, Todd.
Thanks, Josh. Everyone keeps talking about the unknowns here tonight at Bristol. I talked to a lot of crew chiefs, a lot of drivers today. The crew chiefs, they don't know. They don't know what to expect. The last time we raced here at Bristol, there was no traction compound on the racetrack, and they had left side tire issues, wearing the tires out. Tonight, we have the traction compound, so they don't know if they're going to have tire issues again or not. So they don't know when they're going to pit, how many times they're going to pit. And the drivers, well, you ask them all and they say the same thing. If somebody gets in the back of you, moves you up out of the traction compound, you are going to get passed. Jamie?
I love all of the unknowns. Now let's take a look at our track description sponsored by Craftsman, Michael.
Yeah, you're going to see this track's just over a half mile in length. The 24 to 28 degree banking in the turns. That's key. That means we're going to be running from that yellow line out to that white wall with a lot of action, a lot of passing. The surface is concrete, and they can really attack these corners, Joey.
Absolutely. There's going to be a lot of attacking to do, and here's your race analysis. 250 laps. It's only 133 miles. It's 65 laps for the first and second stage, and the final stage being 120. What you see there at the bottom, though, comp caution, lap 30. They're doing that because the track is green, meaning there's no rubber on the track. Tire wear is going to be pretty aggressive to start here, and there may be some truckers looking to hit pit road possibly. And we heard Todd Bodine talking about this. Where does the strategy end up? when you put that caution there at lap 30, it opens the window for a couple different strategies. It'll be fun to watch it because at some point, the whole field's probably going to flip.
Warming those tires up, you see that's what they're doing back and forth on that. Hoping to have some grip when they get down the turn anywhere else.
Especially with the rain that ended up going through earlier this afternoon. I'm curious to see how that traction compound on the bottom of the track is going to react as well. Green flag is in the air, we're underway. Christian Eckes will take the outside of row 1 for this initial start. Tyler Ankrum on the inside of row 1 spun the tires and loses a spot. Corey Heim jumps up into the second place position behind Eckes. And through lap number 1, Heim looking to the outside already on the 19. Not going to be able to get a run on him yet. And the pole sitter of Daniel Hemrick will lead the opening lap. Corey Heim taking to that middle outside groove of the racetrack again through turns 1 and 2 on the second lap of the race. Able to get a little clean air on the nose. Not going to see the groove widen out too much in tonight's truck race, but through the weekend, as that lane gets rubbered in, we'll see multi-groove racing. A lot of slipping and sliding going on right now with zero rubber laid down on the racetrack. A lot of drivers losing vehicle control through the center of both ends of the racetrack. Now 3 wide, right around second place between Ben Rhodes, Chandler Smith, and Corey Heim. Heim still up on the outside, gets passed by both trucks underneath him. Might have lifted to let them go ahead. Didn't want to risk getting involved in an early accident being 3 wide on just lap 5 here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Both Rhodes and Smith were able to stay side by side with one another after both clearing the 11. And now Heim's got another truck underneath them, that being Tyler Ankrum. So Hemrick with an 8/10 of a second lead. Chandler Smith is clear for second place. Just behind him, also 8/10 back off the lead, would be Ben Rhodes in third. Then Tyler Ankrum 1.3 seconds back at fourth. And 1.3 seconds back at fifth is Corey Heim. That's the top 5. The intervals between them. Lap 7 early going to the race. Obviously caution free in these opening couple of minutes. Kyle Larson right around where he started in the 12th place position. His teammate Raja Karuth, who started in the same row with him, is moving backwards. Just got hit from behind by Dawson Sutton getting through the middle of turns 1 and 2. Continues to lose ground. Grant Enfinger slipped up big time as well up off the exit of turn 2. Very little grip around this high-speed half-mile oval. Don't call it the world's fastest half-mile for nothing. Chandler Smith to the lead through 3 and 4. Our first lead change of the night as he takes control, passing Daniel Hemrick out in front of the field. It's that same team that went to victory lane with Lane Riggs last season in this race. So Chandler Smith obviously in a second Front Row Motorsport entry this year. Third in points coming into the race. As you see the point standing scrolling across the top of the screen throughout tonight's action. As well as some other top categories for statistical purposes in the Truck Series season. Several different winners. Couple of Cup regulars to go to victory lane already. Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson. Larson trying to get his second win. Has just cracked the top 10 for the first time in position number 10. Lane Riggs move up to 9th that last lap as well. Garcia is backwards 8 positions from the start. He was in row 3 at the beginning. Corey Heim, after starting second, fell to 5th. Should say started 4th. Got to second place on lap 1, and now has fallen to 5th. Matt Crafton's up 14 positions. He had a top 3 in the spring Bristol race last season. 14 spots gained, though, in the first 15 laps of the race. That's pretty impressive for Crafton. Veteran presence, especially in this Truck Series of the Green Racetrack, has to be the big difference maker there. Crafton's been better on the short tracks than really any other discipline of racing the last several years in winless seasons at Thor Sport Racing in the 88. Corey Day is also up 11 spots in the 18th spot. Parker Kligerman, who started dead last in this race in 35th, is up 8 positions to 27th. Justin Carroll is down 12 positions. I believe he's lost the most of any driver. Raja Karuth has lost 10 back to 22nd. So those are some of the biggest losers from the very start of the race. Few trucks have already fallen off the lead lap. Nathan Bird, Stephen Malozzi, Justin Carroll pulled off the track just a couple laps in. And Norm Benning has also fallen off the lead lap. Little contact up high. Lap truck got in the way of the 99 of Ben Rhodes. And Rhodes is going to fall from 3rd to 6th in 1 lap. Malozzi in the 02 was on the bottom lane of the racetrack, slipped up out of the groove. Almost got into Ben Rhodes. Actually, he did make contact with him. Luckily, Rhodes slowed his truck down enough that he kept it off the wall. No major tire rub on the left side, so he continues onward. Definitely a tight squeeze for Ben. Reason going to work around him as he got shuffled off the bottom lane with the lap car being in the way, and now Rhodes is back to 8th place as he also gets passed by Brandon Jones on the 1. Kyle Larson's now in his rearview mirror on lap 17. And we've got our first spinner of the day. It's Connor Mosack in the 81. And it looked like that took place on the exit of turn 4. Cautions out at lap 17, working on lap 18 for the first time today. So Connor Mosack in the 81 again going for a spin. Mosack still in the top 5 in laps led so far this season for the Truck Series. After he had started on the front row and led a bunch of laps in the second race of the season at Atlanta. Definitely not off to a good start here today at Bristol. A little contact with Tanner Gray, battling for position. Mosack was on the bottom of the racetrack, slipped up into Gray, who was just to his outside. Slight bit of contact and then losing the rear of the truck after the fact is the reason for our first yellow. So Chandler Smith is in the race lead. Daniel Hemrick 2nd, Tyler Ankrum 3rd, Corey Heim 4th, Ty Majeski rounds out the top 5. Again, our first caution of the race here today. Competition caution scheduled for lap 30. I'm not sure if this is going to maybe push it back a little bit with the caution. NASCAR could also determine that this is the competition caution if it is close enough to lap 30 by their discretion. And the reason we want to go 30 laps specifically is more for green flag laps to check the tire wear, with not being able to do that through the course of practice earlier today. And no cars have been on the racetrack. We usually see this when practice and qualifying is wiped out completely for a series on the weekend. This is nothing new. I don't think I shouted out Godzilla Legendary 2018 or 2078, excuse me, in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. Lap 20 of 250. Repass in 31st. And get back on the lead lap. So Malozzi and Carroll both pulled off the track. Carroll did come back out onto the racetrack after Malozzi had pulled off. And Nathan Bird might be off the track as well. So maybe a couple of start parks in the back portion of the field. Under a commercial break for the first time on Fox Sports 1 during their live coverage of tonight's truck race at Bristol. It's always cool to see Bristol Motor Speedway and NASCAR races here. This has been my favorite track since I was a kid. I've gone to Bristol 4 times so far and will be a 5th later this summer. Last year actually ended my streak of consecutive years going there. But yeah, I love Bristol. I loved it even as a kid growing up, like I mentioned already, and then being there for the first time. Even with a very sparse crowd back in 2020 for the All-Star race, which would have been the first race that they had fans after COVID. Still electric for what it was, even though the race itself wasn't, by any means the greatest. Wanted to go back, and then the next time I was back there was the 2021 race weekend, which was just awesome. I thought all 3 races that weekend were awesome between Truck Xfinity and the Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick fiasco and the Cup race. Great race leading up to that point as well. Xfinity race was an absolute banger. An instant classic finish. Definitely unlike any other finish I've ever seen in person to any NASCAR race before. Produced some great moments, that's for sure. Highly recommend anybody getting out there. If you're a NASCAR fan and have not been to Bristol Motor Speedway, you definitely got to get there. It's got to be a bucket list item for most NASCAR fans, I'd assume. There's been some other great tracks I've been to, but I might be a little bit of bias. considering that it was already my favorite track before I went there. There might be other venues that are better by way of amenities and stuff, but I don't look at that when I go to NASCAR races. I go there for the pure racing aspect, and for the most part, Bristol puts on a good show. And even with the Cup Series and the next-gen problems that we've seen on short tracks, I was there in 2023, and it was better than what I thought it was going to be going into the race, because I was definitely skeptical. It's Bristol. I mean, what could go wrong? Even when things do go wrong, it could still be a pretty all-right race. All right. So once more, Chandler Smith will be the leader. So he was out in front when the caution had come out. That's the only lead change of the race. 7 laps have been spent under yellow with the Connor Mosack spin. And this is not the competition caution either. Might go a little bit past lap 30 before we get the competition yellow. At or around lap 30, depending on how cautions may lay out before or after that said caution. Lights are out on the pace truck, though, and we will be going green this time. All right, green flag back in the air. I did have to jump back to live there, so we're already green. Lap 27. Couple laps into the restart. Corey High maybe losing a couple more spots yet again. Stuck on the outside lane and going backwards. Stuart Friesen and Ty Majeski break into the top 5 in front of him. And Heim's teammate for the night, Brandon Jones, will also get through. Definitely a bottom-feeding racetrack on the very get-go, as the outside just not rubbered in yet. Corey Heim's been up on the outside maybe more than most. And he is struggling compared to what he ran in both of the races at Bristol last season. Led the most laps in the summer event. Great car in that spring race as well. 8th place. Definitely not the Corey Heim we've seen so far this season. The other Corey Day, is moving up through the field very quickly. 11th place after starting well outside the top 20. And Matt Crafton, who also started well outside the top 20, is right in front of him in 10th. Day going to give Crafton a little bit of space. Crafton lifted the lap before that after running into his teammate Ben Rhodes, or about ran into his teammate. Great wherewithal there by Corey Day not to run into the back of Crafton and giving him the space needed, knowing that we're still in the early laps of a long race. Corey Day's gotten into quite a few incidences in his truck starts throughout his part-timing with both the 2 races he ran last year as well as the handful of races he's already ran this year, the Xfinity race that he ran at Martinsville last week. Definitely an abysmal weekend at Martinsville for him in both the truck and the Busch Series races. This is the first track that Corey Day has been to for a second time, because his debut in the Truck Series last season would have came here at Bristol last summer. And he also ran Kansas Speedway last year as well, so it'll be interesting to see when we go to Kansas what he can do in that race. Already much improved on the speed side of things for Corey Heim in these early laps. He's ahead of Kyle Larson. As far as the Spider Motorsports trucks go for tonight, Larson's currently 13th, and again, Day in 11th. 7/10 of a second lead for Chandler Smith over Tyler Ankrum. That last lap, he was about 2/10 quicker, extends the lead out to about 1 second now. A couple of very slow lap trucks down at the bottom of the track. Some of the back half of the top 10 still whizzing by to the outside. Not all the way up near the wall, but in the middle groove of the racetrack, trying to run as close to the bottom as possible when making those passes on the slower trucks. Looks like Norm Benning pulling off the racetrack in the 6. Eckes is now, or sorry, not Eckes, Hemrick in the 19, obviously, this year. Most recent Truck Series winner going backwards. Started on the pole, led the first 7 to 8 laps. And once you get shuffled up off the bottom, especially not being that far after a restart, in danger of losing a ton of positions. We saw that from Corey Heim on the last restart, was stuck on the outside, fell back to 8th. And after running in 2nd place just about 2 to 3 laps ago, Hemrick is now back to 8th place as well. Heim, Riggs, Jones, Friesen, Majeski all got by him. JoJo, Sergeant Bob, Earl Arnold Jr., welcome to the stream. Sergeant Bob taking the 38 all the way. Definitely off to a good start. Lane Riggs is slowly getting up through the field. A lot of racing still to go. Laps go by very quickly, though. 250 of them is not a long race whatsoever here at Bristol Motor Speedway. This is a little bit longer of a race, though, than what we'll see in the summer. Usually the summer Bristol races for the Truck Series are 200 laps. This one, 250. Same for the Xfinity Series. That would usually be 250 in the summer and then 300 in the spring. Both the Cup races are each 500 laps, unlike with Martinsville's spring date the last several years being 400, like we just saw a couple of weeks ago as well. Leads back down to 0.7 of a second, so maybe getting through the couple of lap trucks a little better for Anchorman second versus our race leader of Chandler Smith. 20 laps to go in the stage, just about. As Smith leads. 0.6 of a second now ahead of Tyler Anchorman, who continues to close, actually 1.3 now. The Fox graphic showed 0.6 of a second, then jumped up to 1.3. Norm Benning almost causing an incident right in the middle of turns 1 and 2. My goodness. He had a truck right behind him that almost got into the back of him. Both those trucks were way slower than everybody getting around him to both the inside and the outside. There are some very, very slow trucks out there on the racetrack. Things happen quick at Bristol Motor Speedway as it is. When you're that much faster than another truck, these corners are very blind. It'd be tough to see when something gets out of control early. Get caught up into the accident. You can't really see the straightaway until you get right up off the exit of the corner. So if an incident happens off the exit of the corner, you're going through the middle of, say, 1 and 2. Caution right off the exit of turn 2 takes place. Very reliant on the spotter to try to get things checked up to keep from getting involved. And even then, sometimes it's too late. Larson battling back inside the top 10. He did get up to 10th right before the first caution, then he fell back on the restart. Probably was in the outside lane for a little bit too long, if I had to guess. Both the Spire trucks, Corey Day and Larson, splitting by Matt Crafton, who got picked behind the 33 truck. A lapper right in front of them both. Larson to the outside of Corey Heim, gets by him. Same for Corey Day. Now Day able to follow his mentor up through the field. Corey Heim's truck is definitely struggling in these early laps. He's now fallen to 11th and is just continuously going backwards. He's definitely holding up the trucks that are just in line behind him still. Crafton going to get by. Not sure what might have happened to that 11 truck, but he's just been slow from the get-go. 16 laps to go in the stage. Lap 50 now. Very quickly, 50 laps complete in this race. Connor Mosack about to fall a lap down after he brought out the first caution earlier today. Chandler Smith clears him up off of turn 4. Leads another lap at the line. Quite a few lap trucks still in front of the race leader. Larson driving it in deep. All over the back of the 19 of Daniel Hemrick. And caution is out for the second time. Oh, big incident. Ty Majeski involved with the 33. Frankie Muniz. Frankie had one of the slower trucks on the racetrack that was getting lapped several times over. And I don't know if Majeski might have mistimed trying to get around him or what. Both those two are parked door to door with one another. Stuart Friesen's got quite a bit of damage involved as well. Majeski and Friesen were both up in the top 5. I think they were 4th and 5th. The one truck, Brandon Jones, who was also right around them, 4th, 5th, and 6th, looks like they were all involved.
I saw a little damage on Brian's truck too.
Oh wow, we see what started it, but it had a lot of them.
Let's listen to Ty Majeski's radio.
That was not a good camera angle.
Like walk me out, I don't know, I'm running 18 and it's here to give me the left. I don't know.
Man, that's a shame too. Truck you could win the race with. See if we can get another view of this mess. Look at that. 4 trucks just wadded up there.
And I mean, that's Bristol too, right? It's as soon as something goes wrong, there's nowhere to go, right? You're going so fast, you can't check up and get out of the way. And a lot of trucks got torn up. And obviously, we still haven't seen the start of this one, but there's a.
Sounded like Majeski felt like Frankie went up. It was up top. It didn't stay up there. Thought he was going to stay up top.
And we know, Ty Majeski, like we said, he was running third. He's fast. He was lapping, the slower truck there, and you're trying to anticipate where someone's going because you're catching them at such a quick rate. Like, where am I going to go? I don't want to lose my momentum. And when someone doesn't go where you expect them to go, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, and the hole closes up very quickly, and you get caught up in this mess. And unfortunately for 4 trucks, they got caught in it.
Defending series champion Ty Majeski is out of this one for this incident at the front of the pack.
Join the more than 7 million adults.
Yeah, I don't know how they missed the wreck. I mean, it's Bristol Motor Speedway. It's a half-mile bull ring of a racetrack, and they somehow missed the incident. They caught the very end of it. There were 2 replay cameras that they had caught. One was just panning to the wreck late. Not sure exactly where that camera was staged. It looked like towards corner entry. And then there was another one that they used from an infield camera, which I would assume was one of the NASCAR cameras for timing and scoring. And it was in one of the loops that the crash had ended up taking place. Ford truck incident, I can tell you that much. Frankie Muniz, the lap truck involved. One of the handful of slowed trucks at the tail end of the field. Everybody splitting around them, just trying to stay out of the way. And fast trucks coming up from behind, 4th, 5th, and 6th place. Ben Rhodes. Sorry, not Ben Rhodes. Ty Majeski in the 98 was involved. Brandon Jones in the 1. And Stuart Friesen in the 52, all having good starts to this race. Again, they were 4th through 6th. The Muniz was already several laps down to that point, currently scored in 30th. Majeski did climb out of his truck, so he's definitely done. And there was a lot of damage to the left front of both Friesen and Jones's race truck. Jones had the most damage of those that were able to drive away from the crash. Friesen should be able to continue, but they're missing. I'm not sure how many laps they're going to have left when we get to this next restart for Stage 1. Should be pretty close to the end of the stage. Robert Racing, welcome to the stream. They have cameras there too, bad camera work. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, it's a half-mile racetrack. I feel like you can catch a lot of what might have happened from nearly every camera angle around the racetrack, you would assume. Probably just zoomed in on the action too close. They might have a better angle of it here.
I have found some video evidence of the wreck that just took place with Ty Majeski and Frankie Muniz. And yeah, we're going to let this roll here. They are, where are they at here? What, they're back here.
Yeah.
As you go into the corner here, you see the bottom. There is Ty Majeski gets in the back of Frankie, anticipating him to go up the racetrack. And then the interesting thing here is Ty Majeski thought he was going to stay in the bottom even after he started spinning him out, which a couple decisions that didn't go his way ultimately ended his race and a few others. So, like Ty said, he thought he was going to go up the racetrack, so he drives it off in the corner. The closing rate was pretty fast, right? Like Ty was quite a bit faster than Frankie was, and yeah, when you anticipate wrong, there's going to be contact, and then he anticipated wrong again. It went up the racetrack instead of the bottom, and it tore up a few.
Well, and we talked about at the opening how fast things happen here, and that's exactly what went down there. I made a decision, turned out not to be the proper one at that point in time, but things happen fast at Bristol.
It's part of race car driving. You know, like you don't have time to think about it and talk about it. You got to just react off of what you think is best, and sometimes it doesn't go your way, and you go back and you learn, and you know you try to figure it out for next time. But that's a unique scenario that doesn't happen very often.
That's Ty Majeski's first DNF in the last 20 races.
Wow.
Tomorrow, catch reigning AL MVP Aaron Judge as he leads the Yankees against the Giants. That's at 3 p.m. Eastern on FS1. So back here at Bristol, 190 laps to go. That's right. Talking about Major League Baseball. Looks a little different from overhead here in the booth. It's the Speedway Classic coming up here in August. That is going to be a lot of fun. Michael, I know you were just over at Red. This is when the big announcement happened back in August. You see the renderings here, what it's going to look like, Joey. This was so cool. Literally, we had Chipper Jones out there, Ross Chastain, Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick there. Everybody's excited. They're like, how in the world is this going to work? It's happening. They're taking down walls. They're rebuilding this whole infield for the Speedway Classic coming up.
And they already know it's going to be a classic already. Just like that, the inaugural event, we're calling it a classic. So it's going to be a special day. And it just goes to show, right, Bristol Motor Speedway, the last great Coliseum, one of the coolest venues you can come to and see in person. And obviously every sport wants to be inside this amazing facility.
Yeah, we had a big football game here. Now we're going to have baseball, Major League Baseball at the last great Coliseum. Marcus Smith and his team do such a great job of being innovative and doing fun things here at Bristol, and really looking forward to it. And speak of innovation, we have the takers on pit road, fixing those things up. Like you said, Joey, this race will get flipped upside down because we've had some takers already.
Yeah, and it's an interesting place we're in here. 4 to go to the end of the stage. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how this is supposed to play out. I think a few of them are looking to flip.
So Caden Honeycutt in 13th was the first to pit on lap 60. Parker Kligerman, Bailey Curry, Tanner Gray, Gio Ruggiero, Corey Heim, all pitted.
And we're going to choose and go back racing here for a little dash to the end of the stage.
Couple laps for a stage win. This is an intense, kind of green-white checker, if you will. It's all out there for that playoff point.
Let's hear from Ty Majeski.
Ty Majeski out early. What happened? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen a replay yet, but the 33 kind of came up off of turn 2, and I thought he was going to commit to the top. He kind of came up in front of the 18. By the time I realized he was going to come back to the bottom, I was already at my lifting point. You know as well as anyone, Todd, once you're kind of at that lifting point, you're kind of in no man's land. So I just couldn't stay off of the 33 there. Just unpredictable. So disappointed. Really fast Soda Sense Ford F-150. Thought we would have had a chance to win, maybe after an adjustment or two. So disappointed, but we'll move on to Texas. Ty Majeski out early.
Been a consistent season for Ty Majeski. Joe Shear, their worst finish, 13th. Last race at Martinsville. To go back.
That's exactly right.
All right, late in the stage, we're going to have a green-white checker for the Stage 1 win. Chandler Smith outside row 1. Tyler Ingram inside row 1. Green flag back in the air. 2 laps to go around this half-mile short track. Already out to about a 2 truck length lead off of turn 2 on the opening lap following the race start for Smith. Taking over second place on the outside is Ben Rhodes as he gets by the 18 of Ankrum. Ankrum not able to get back in the gas very soon off turn 4. Lane Riggs has got him under duress for third. Ankrum gets back down to the bottom in front of Riggs in time into 1 and 2. And he should be able to hold off through 3 and 4 as well. Doesn't make a mistake on that end, and he'll hold that spot. Out in front of the field, Chandler Smith will win stage 1. Led the most laps in the opening stage. Ben Rhodes second. Tyler Ankrum third. Fourth for Lane Riggs. Daniel Hemrick fifth. 3 wide for 6 with Kyle Larson, Matt Crafton, and Corey Day. Jake Garcia ends up in 8th. 9th place for, it was Larson 6th, Crafton 8th, Crafton 7th, Corey Day 8th. Jake Garcia was 9th, and then Raja Kruthan 10th. They were 3 wide in the back half of that. Stage points awarded to the top 10 positions, 1 point per position, and a playoff point for the stage win, which again is Chandler Smith. And I believe that is the first stage win of the year for Chandler. Yep. First stage win of the season for him. He only led 37 laps on the year coming into this race. And he's already led about that many in stage 1 alone. Points awarded to the top 10 positions, 1 point per position. All right, let's take a look at this chat poll. 56 votes have been casted for who you think is going to win tonight's Truck Series race at Bristol. 48% of those 56 votes are taking Kyle Larson for the win. Larson has not yet broken into the top 5, but he's slowly but surely working his way forward from where he started, which was 13th. Corey Heim has 16% of the votes. He's moved straight backwards from the beginning of the race, as high as second on the opening laps. Fell outside of the top 10. Lane Riggs is slowly moving forward as well. Only 7% of the votes for Lane Riggs. Very surprised there. Again, he won last year's Bristol Summer Race. And 29% say somebody other than those 3 are going to go to victory lane here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. Again, this is our first of 4 live commentary streams of the weekend. We'll have a doubleheader tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, with our NASCAR Cup and Cup Series coverage, I should say, specifically. Practice and qualifying tomorrow as well. So again, doubleheader, 2 p.m. Eastern, practice qualifying for the Cup Series, and Xfinity Series racing at 5 p.m. Eastern. Xfinity Series practice and qualifying will be taking place in the morning, but we will not be live streaming that. I'll actually be at work until noon tomorrow. So I will not even be able to watch it myself. So have to take some quick notes before the start of the race tomorrow and get myself caught up with. No rain in the forecast for the rest of the weekend as well. I think it's below a 25% chance in the Bristol area the rest of the weekend, so should be clean and green. And I don't think we're going to see a washout like we have with practice and qualifying for the Truck Series earlier today. And we'll be live at 2:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday afternoon for the Cup Series race, our main event for the weekend, the Food City 500. Might see some drivers at the front of the field pitting for the first time today. During the Stage 1 break, we'll take a break of our own for the first time. You're listening live on KRC. Zachary Powers, Frank Powers, welcome to the stream. To both of the Powers. JoJo, welcome in as well. I don't know if I shouted you out yet. I don't know how many drivers at the very front of the field are going to pit. I would imagine quite a few in stage 1 because we should see more fall off in the first stage than the last 2 stages in this race. With having 0 rubber laid down on the racetrack, we're going to see a lot faster speeds right off the rip. So our fastest lap time of the day might not come down. 15.528 maybe from Chandler Smith might have been the quickest. Hemrick was on the pole. He might have had a quicker lap than that. Nope. Don't think so. Yep, so Chandler Smith still has the fastest lap. It was on lap 30. That would have been after the first caution. A couple laps into that restart. Because when he took the race lead away, he was in lap traffic, so he wasn't able to run any quick laps there. So we actually haven't seen that much tire fall off. Ben Rhodes, who was second at the end of the last stage, actually ran his fastest lap on the final lap of stage 1. All on the same tires they started the race off with as well. 3 Fords up in the top 4. No Toyotas in the top 14 positions. Gio Ruggiero in 15th, highest finishing Toyota in Stage 1. Corey Heim right behind him in 16th. Parker Kligerman's on the move as well, 17th after starting dead last in 35th. Corey Day started very deep in the field and got up to 8th. Matt Crafton started in the back half of the field up to 7th, so those are some of the biggest movers of the race between the three of them. We'll see trucks on pit road, but I think most of the top half will probably end up staying out. Cooler temperatures is not going to allow for a lot of fall off either. Again, only 47 degrees at the start of the race. Pole sitter Daniel Hemrick is on pit road. Jake Garcia looks to be coming in as well.
His truck was getting freer at that run went along. Take a look at this stop. They said it's going to take a little bit longer because they want to make a big swing because this is going to be the only one, hopefully, for them. So they want to make sure they get it right, guys.
Well, I like this strategy. So the only one, that means they're going to pit here and they're going to the end of the race. So, you know, here you see you'll get his 4 tires. There's only a couple trucks on pit road. Good news, bad news. Right? Because you're going to be in the very back here, but that means the whole field is going to have to pit at some point, and you will cycle up forward. Bad news is your tires will be old by then. So I like this strategy because he wasn't towards the front. He was struggling with his truck, puts it up, and then you kind of go for it. You got the win.
That's
Get much
exactly right.
nice.
I talked to his crew chief, Josh Graham. He said the same thing. We've got that win now. We can try things, do things that maybe we couldn't have a week ago. We'll drop the green flag for stage number 2 coming up next.
All right. So again, 65 laps in each of the first 2 stages tonight. And then we'll finish things off with 120 laps in stage 3. And with the fuel window being 140 to 150 laps, they'll be within the fuel window to make it to the end of the race at the end of stage 2. Or a caution, if it comes out in the final 20 to 30 laps, they might be able to stretch it. And we could see some strategy there. 2 cautions for incident in stage 1. And then the stage break here is our 3rd yellow at lap 65. And that's the reason for our caution currently. Only lead change in the race was a pass for the lead where Chandler Smith was able to get in front of the then pole sitter of Daniel Hemrick, who we just saw on pit road. 66 laps led already for Chandler Smith. Corey Heim led the most laps in each of the last 2 races, though. Martinsville and Homestead did not win either one. Chandler Smith has not been to victory lane in a truck series truck since his Kyle Busch Motorsport days a few seasons ago. Kyle Busch Motorsport's not even a thing anymore in the truck series. That tells you how long it's been. Obviously ran full-time in the Xfinity series for Colleague Racing last season. But back full-time this year looking for a championship run, and in order to do that, he has to qualify for the playoffs first. A win will guarantee him a spot in the 10-driver Truck Series playoff field. Not to mention, he's getting a lot of regular season points so far tonight. Came in 3rd. We'll take a look at those point standings here while we're under caution. 20-point lead for Corey Heim coming into this race. Chandler Smith was 36 points off of Heim, and Heim did not get any stage points in stage 1. So there's a very good possibility Chandler Smith is going to eat into that lead quite a bit, especially if he can go on, win stage 2. Could outscore Heim 20-0 in these first 2 stages, the way things are looking right now. Daniel Hemrick, fresh off of his win in the last race, is 4th in the standings, up 3 spots after that victory. It's his first career win in the Truck Series level. Stuart Friesen, top 5 in points, but in that early incident. And looking back around that playoff cut line right now, we got Ben Rhodes and Caden Honeycutt battling for the final spot. Only 1 point difference between those 2 drivers at the beginning of this race here today. Matt Crafton 17th in points after having a not-so-good start to the season. Missed the playoffs entirely for the first time in his truck career last season. He's been winless the last couple of years, but off to a good run in this race through stage 1. Started deep, he's up to 6th. Started back in 27th. Very good race for Matt Crafton. This has been one of his better tracks as of late. Through the last couple of seasons. Waiting to get the restart. Looks like we're going to be around lap 78 out of 250 when we get back to racing. Appreciate everybody tuning in here on this Friday night. Our light goal is to get to 50 here today. And we are currently at 47 already. Greatly appreciate. Thank you so much for that. Green flag is back in the air. Ben Rhodes spins the tires on the bottom lane of the racetrack and stacked up a couple trucks just behind him into the first turn. Ankrum thought he had a chance to squeeze down into second, almost pinched the 99 down onto the apron. They made a little bit of contact. Now Rhodes on the other end of the track at 3-4 overdrives the corner, loses some ground. Corey Day up against the wall, and we got trouble behind him. Raja Karuth goes for a spin. Midway down the front stretch, I saw him hooking a left, and I think he just kept it off the inside wall. There was definitely some contact. I'm not sure if he might have moved down or somebody came up into him, but he definitely got turned. Luckily, just missed that inside wall at the end of the front straightaway. Caution, though, again, is out for the Karuth slide.
Well, we'll have to wait and see here what happened.
Russia back in 8th.
See him coming off of turn 4.
Well, I'm going to have to say that that little push there was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he didn't hit that inside wall.
Didn't take much.
Going straight down the front straightaway and have enough momentum to do that to someone, but that's exactly what happened. See if you can see what, maybe Raja didn't get off the corner as good as Caden thought. Caden's got somebody right back him. Corey Haim's pushing him. You see that?
Yeah, I mean, it just looked like Raja was not going off the. I mean, he's on the straightaway. He should be wide open there, and it looked like just they were going faster. But it doesn't seem like it makes any sense that they're going faster at that point. Like, it almost makes you wonder, did he have an engine issue or something like that? It was a stumbling a little bit for them to just run all over the back of them in that part of the racetrack. Very odd.
71 truck looks clean. So we're under caution for the 4th time here at Bristol for this incident. 45 touches the 71 and away goes Russia.
Yeah, again, did not take much. 4th caution of the race already, lap 82 of 250. Still well more than half of this race remains. Chandler Smith held on to the lead for those 2 laps following the restart before the caution came out. First 9 laps were led by the pole sitter Daniel Hemrick. And then every lap after that has been led by our current race leader, Chandler Smith. 8 laps led officially for Hemrick. Connor Mosak will get the free pass in 23rd. And I believe he was 2 laps down at the time of the incident, so he will now be 1 lap down. Stuart Friesen, after the damage he had from the incident towards the end of stage 1 involving himself, Brandon Jones, Ty Majeski, and Frankie Muniz. Friesen does continue in this race, but he's 5 laps down. 12 laps down for Muniz, who was involved in that crash, and Brandon Jones, Ty Majeski DNF'd, and they are out of the race completely. Currently 31st and 32nd. Spencer Boyd is on the same lap as Majeski, and if he is out on the racetrack, he'll be able to make up a couple spots. Same for Benning and Malozzi if they end up returning onto the racetrack. Enough laps left in the race for them to gain a couple of positions as well. So lap 19 in stage 2 out of 65. We'll take another break. Again, you're listening live on KRC to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Bristol. It's Bristol, baby. We are ready. A lot of fun action. Can anybody take down Chandler Smith, who's been off to a very fast start? Kyle Larson's up to 4th. Lane Riggs is up in the top 5 as well. Lost a spot on that last restart, but he's still up towards the front. Corey Heim has rallied back to 10th. Hasn't been to pit road, so they haven't made any adjustments to that 11 truck, but he was dropping like a rock early. This track's just not taking a lot of rubber. Very cold temperatures, and haven't seen any fall off yet. I didn't notice anybody run their quickest laps of the race at the front of the field on that last restart like we saw from the couple before that. Granted, we only really went one full lap. On the second lap was when the caution came out, so that might have been why as well. And Rhodes will be inside of row 1. We've seen a very big struggle for the driver in the inside of row 1 to fire off through the restart zone. They've been spinning their tires and at risk of actually losing a spot to the we've had. John Barber, welcome to the stream. Rained all day in Central Virginia. Surprised to see them racing tonight. Yeah, weather cleared out. Rain during the day, washed out practice qualifying, but clear into the nighttime skies, and we're ready to get this full 250-lap race in. Obviously already underway. Lap 89 restart. And Chandler Smith will get the fire first. Waited to the back half of the zone, gets going. Rhodes spins the tires again inside of row 1. And he was inside row 1 on the last restart as well. Doesn't work out for him there. Big slide off turn 2. Almost made contact with Ankrum. Lane Riggs might be able to capitalize off of that and get a spot as well, and he does. And now he can clear down to the bottom without getting forced out of line. Big move by the 44, Bailey Curry. 3 wide for Curry. Riggs in the middle, Rhodes down on the bottom. Not sure who ended up lifting when that caused for that to be 3 wide. I wonder if it was Riggs who might have lifted a little more with the 44, surprising him to the outside late. Rhodes gets his spot back on Riggs, so Riggs, after initially getting to 3rd, is now stuck on the outside instead. Corey Heim is stuck up there right behind him with nowhere to go also. Riggs driving the wheels off his car to try to stay with Larson. Lost ground through the middle of 3 and 4. Larson clears Riggs. Riggs crowds the 88 of Craftsman. That's not going to work. Heim even wider through the center of the corner, trying to get more speed down the straightaway to do what he can on that outside line to gain ground back. And Riggs finally gets down to the inside again in the 7th place position, but lost a handful of spots after getting to 3rd on the restart initially. So Bailey Curry had actually hit pit road at the end of stage 1, and he has fresh tires. Corey Heim also hit pit road. And that might have been why he was able to rally from the middle of the pack up to the top 10 after his truck was 16th at the end of stage 1. I was wondering where Bailey Curry came from in that 44 for Nice Motorsports, because he was not even in the top 10 at the end of stage 1. But that would make sense. Despite not seeing a lot of tire fall off, he's made the most of it, getting to where he's at right now. And his lap time that last lap was a 15.624. Couple hundredths off of the race leader, Chandler Smith, still. But quicker than the trucks that he had already passed that are in his rear view, which would include Ben Rhodes, Kyle Larson, Matt Craftsman, and others.
They're going to have to pass some trucks, so there's going to be some that stay out. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of them is Corey Heim.
We're going to have, if there's a caution before the end of the stage, we're going to have some takers there too. So the strategy will be ever changing until we get past that second stage. Saw the 75 of Parker Quigman on the pit road in that last break, moving up towards the front. And here comes Heim to the bottom on Honeypack.
Battle for 9th right here.
Joey, do you ever think we'll see them go all the way to the top? When we've seen a few takers, Larson made some ground up there, but it's mainly been wrapping that bottom.
Yeah, I think and we've seen Larson try it, and that was a little earlier in the race, but there haven't been many green flash laps since then. But when Larson was making speed up there, it's because there was a lot of traffic in front of him. He was finding clean air, getting up there. Well, as soon as he got clean air and past those trucks, he got back down to the bottom, and that's where his lap time was. So I think it's just an option to pass trucks at the moment. If it stays green, though, if we're able to run these next 32 laps out to the end of the stage, gonna get closer to a point to where maybe we can start moving up the racetrack and finding something.
You know what's crazy right now? The fastest lap that Kyle Larson ran was at lap 93, and he's on that many lap tires. Conversely, Bailey Curry ran his fastest lap on like lap 90, and he's on short. So these Goodyear tires aren't falling off, is my point.
That's a solid point there.
Thank you, Joe. Why am I Mikey and you're Joseph all of a sudden? I don't understand.
I don't know. We're getting old. Yeah, we're changing up.
Wearing glasses in the booth, Joey.
Joe,
You asked me to, okay?
I know.
Joe, you're getting old. I got old.
Battle for second going on between Tyler Ankrum and Bailey Curry at the front of the field. Curry looking to the outside through. And he'll try it again in turns 1 and 2. Some lap trucks that are lined up towards the bottom of the racetrack that could get in the way of Ankrum. He's going to have to move his line to the outside. Going to put Curry in a little bit of dirty air, but we'll see if the 18 can get the rotation in his truck to run that lane better than the truck behind him closing. Oh, Curry moved to the inside too quick. Almost got into the side of the lapper in the 0-2. Very close call. Looks at that middle to upper groove again. 22 truck was up there. It's going to hurt the corner exit for Curry. Ankrum holds on for at least another lap. Still 25 to go in stage 2. And as these drivers battle for second, they're 2 seconds off of our race leader, Chandler Smith. Top 10 as of right now has Smith in the lead. Tyler Ankrum in second. Bailey Curry third. Ben Rhodes fourth. Kyle Larson fifth. Matt Crafton 6th, Lane Riggs 7th, Tanner Gray 8th, Caden Honeycutt 9th, Corey Heim rounds out the top 10. Mentioned already that Chandler Smith came into the night 36 points out of first place Corey Heim. Heim had no stage points at stage 1. He's 10th right now. This could be a huge gain in that standings for Chandler Smith. And the regular season champion does get 15 playoff points. And it is also worth noting the regular season champion in the Truck Series has never missed the championship 4. And we've had this playoff format since 2017. It's almost an automatic lock for whoever could end up getting that. Truck Series playoffs a lot shorter. Not as many drivers involved. So 15 playoff points can go a long way, especially with the regular season only being 18 races. Was 16 before. 2 more races this year on the schedule. Compared to recent years, we've had 23, 25 for 2025. The other not ThorSport truck, but Nice Motorsport truck of Caden Honeycutt has been running back half of the top 10 all night. He is not on fresher tires like his teammate Curry. Meanwhile, by the way, off camera, Curry was able to make a pass for second. Ankrum is now more than 3 seconds off the lead. Curry's down to 2.2. And he is slowly closing in on Chandler Smith. So ground is being made up. It's amazing what 2 seconds looks like at Bristol. It looks like a long time. Quick aerial shot that they ended up having on the FS1 broadcast from the 38 and his gap back to the 44 behind him. Matt Crafton to the inside of Kyle Larson, going to make a pass for 5th. Crafton into the top 5 for the first time tonight. And he is not on fresher tires either, like Curry in second. Honeycutt did pit for tires. Just showed on the Fox graphic. Him, Heim, Tanner Gray, 7th, 8th, 9th. All with about 50 laps on their Goodyears. Over 100 for everybody else who has not yet made a pit stop. Lincoln Kim Hollingsworth, Chris Heiger, welcome to the stream. No, sorry, I can't read. A little bit on the sleepy side. We're good, though. I haven't messed up on my speech too much tonight. So that's good. Welcome to the stream, though. Can't see the race for copyright reasons. I can't visually show you the race, but commentary right here. We have this every NASCAR race weekend, Truck Xfinity Cup races, as well as Cup practice and qualifying every weekend. Other than races that I go to in person. And I actually will be at Talladega for the Cup race in a couple of weeks, which will actually be the next Cup race following this weekend at Bristol because they will be off next week. We'll still have live commentary for the Xfinity and truck races on Easter weekend next week. They'll be at Rockingham, but Cup Series will be off for their only off week of the season. 11 laps to go on the stage and a lot of lap traffic in front of our race leader, Chandler Smith. Bailey Curry still running him down. Within a half a second of the lead now. Closing fast. Smith's going to have to go to the outside. There's nothing else to do but to go there. All 4 to 5 trucks directly in line in front of him are running the bottom. Smith tried it for one corner, didn't gain a lot of ground on the 42. Now he does. That was because the 42 had to check up behind Mosack. Still trying to stay committed to the inside is Chandler Smith as they split the lapper in the 42, 3 wide. 9 to go in the stage, and Bailey Curry going to get to the outside of our leader. More trucks stacked up in that outside line just in front. Now it's double wide traffic. And this is what we tend to see on the long runs at Bristol Motor Speedway. Lap traffic getting in the way of the leaders. And it's Bailey Curry for the first time tonight taking the lead on the fresher tires away from Chandler Smith. It took the vast majority of Stage 2 to have this strategy pull off, but it has worked out well. And Bailey Curry leads here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Lane Riggs, who restarted up in the top 5, is about to fall a lap down, and that's a big truck to go a lap down and a crucial pass for the 44. Tony Breidinger shuffled up out of line, a little bump from behind by the 81. She got sandwiched between herself, the 34, who had a big checkup right in front of her. That's a battle for the free pass position going on right now between Riggs and Breidinger, and it looks like Breidinger is going to be able to make the pass to the outside. Caden Honeycutt breaking into the top 5. He gets by Ben Rhodes. He's up to 4th. Heim will get to 5th. So those roughly 50-lap green flag fresher tires are definitely starting to come in handy late in the stage for the drivers that ended up taking the fresh tires at the end of Stage 1. 4 to go now in this second stage here tonight. Bailey Curry's lead is out to nearly 2 seconds over Chandler Smith. And we'll go through the rest of the top 10 when we do get to the end of the stage and we have those stage points awarded for you. All right, there it is. For Bailey Curry, green-white checkered flag in the air. Great strategy call, Stage 2 win for him, 1.6 second margin of victory in the stage. Chandler Smith second, Caden Honeycutt third, Corey Heim fourth, Tanner Gray did sneak up into 5th, getting by Tyler Ankrum on the final lap of the stage. Ankrum 6th, Matt Crafton 7th, Jake Garcia 8th, Ben Rhodes 9th, and Corey Day rounds out the top 10. Nathan Urich, welcome to the stream. I was a kid, couldn't get the races on TV, so we had radio, several places so we can listen. You're awesome, and I thank you. Well, greatly appreciate that. Yeah, this is definitely a radio-style broadcast, considering that I have to do as much commentating as I can, as quickly as possible, to give you guys the best detailed description as to what's going on, since I can't visually show you guys what's going on as it's happening. Appreciate everybody that tunes in during the course of these streams for the content that we have like this every NASCAR race weekend. Appreciate everybody that's hit that like button so far tonight. We did get to our goal of 50 likes already, and we just got to the end of Stage 2. So we still have half the race to go. Let's see if we can double that. Maybe we can get to 100 by the end of the night. That'd be awesome. I don't think we've done that for a truck race yet this season. Stage 2, a much quicker race pace. Only 1 caution per incident versus 2 back in Stage 1. This is our 5th caution of the day because they obviously 2 stage ends, lap 65, lap 130 are the reason we have hit that 5 mark. And Bailey Curry's pass for the lead on Chandler Smith was just our 2nd lead change of the day. Everybody who has not pitted yet will definitely have to pit now. Fuel's getting pretty light for them. They'll take off fresh tires, and we'll see if everybody else will also hit pit road. Of those that ended up pitting at the end of stage 1, seeing how vital that was once we got towards the end of the stage. Although there's not a lot of tire fall off, there is enough that over the course of a long green flag run, it does seem like there was a bit of an advantage. Free pass position goes to Tony Breidinger in 19th, by the way. She did get by Lane Riggs late in the stage. It also got by Dawson Sutton after he fell a lap down just in front of her. So Breidinger will get back on the lead lap again in 19th. Philip Caval, welcome to the stream. Voted for others at the beginning of the race. Well, it's so far Chandler Smith, stage 1 winner, Bailey Curry, stage 2 winner, both falling under that category. I'll actually end that chat poll. We usually end that at the end of stage 2. Kyle Larson, unanimously. Over 50% of our 72 votes, 54% exactly, going to Kyle Larson. Other at 26%, Corey Heim 13%, and only 5% for Lane Riggs, who was actually a lap down at the end of the stage after finishing top 5 in stage 1. Definitely seemed to have burned his tires up a lot earlier in the run than others. On top of the fact he had older tires, but there were a lot of other drivers who had older tires and didn't fall off quite as much as Riggs. Hyman Gray, after no Toyotas were in the top 10 at the end of stage 1, 2 of them in the top 5 at the end of stage 2. Big swing in the points from 0 stage points for Heim to 7 in the second stage. Delbert Wilson, welcome to the stream. Pit road's open.
Pits are open. They're coming your way, Todd.
Yeah, the 18 Tyler Ankrum, like we've seen with most of these guys tonight, the truck went tight when those tires wore out. Going to free it up a little bit. Bailey Curry, our leader, he's loving his truck. So it's just a little bit tight at the end of that run, putting 4 tires on it. He's going to stay up front with it. Josh?
A similar story for Chandler Smith in the 38, too tight on throttle towards the end of that run. They're going to make a track bar adjustment to help him out. And moving ahead to the 11 on Corey Heim, he said that truck was a little tight, but not too bad. The 11 team saying they are one adjustment away from having the truck they really want. A dangerous notion for this team, baby.
Yeah, no doubt. They're going to make their adjustment here. Could just be air pressure, but maybe that's all they will need. We know what they do when they turn it on. Oh, there's the adjustment there for Corey Heim. Raja Kalu stayed out. Lisa Curry off the road. Chandler Smith, Corey Heim for the race off.
All right, so Chandler Smith wins the race off of the pits. Not everybody came down to pit road that time. So we'll have to wait and see exactly who will be the leader on this next restart. Our leaderboard updates on our screen every time the race leader gets to the start-finish line. Lap times at Bristol quicker than any other, so you're going to see that leaderboard change more frequently than we would at, say, a road course or a super speedway throughout the course of the season, which take longer to complete a lap. Just over an hour into the race and just over halfway through this one on KRC. I got to get the diecast showing. I don't have a diecast with me at the moment, so I'll have to get up and get one. For the time being, we'll take a quick break and continue our live commentary coverage here for the Weather Guard Truck Race at Bristol. All right, which one are we taking? You know what? I try to rotate which diecast I show off during the streams, and I'm trying not to show duplicates throughout the course of the season. I haven't shown this one off yet. I figured because the 38 truck was leading the most laps so far in this race, I'd show a diecast with the number 38. And this one specifically is from the 2003 NASCAR Cup Series season. Winston Cup, obviously, at that time. And this is Elliott Sadler's pedigree paint scheme from that 2003 year. Wild season for Elliott Sadler in 2003 with the Talladega flips, but definitely a cool looking paint scheme. Always got to like the paint scheme when there's a cool looking cute dog on the side of it. The side, the back, both sides of the race car, same dog. And I've always liked the blue and yellow schemes. This scheme specifically, it just screams early 2000s, late 90s NASCAR. The number font too on this Robert Yates Racing Ford. It just looks kind of cartoony, and I feel like there's a lot of cartoony looking paint schemes from this era of NASCAR. If that makes any sense. I really like the blue and yellow schemes over the years. I'm a Michigan Wolverines fan, so I feel like they just pop well on the racetrack. Might be a little bit of bias in there, but sucker for the blue and yellow schemes. They've always been my favorite over the years. Patrick Shadley, welcome to the stream. Payday and a stream. Great night with Keegan. Yeah, it was my payday today, too. Payday, it's Bristol. You can't get any better than that. Payday and a NASCAR race under the lights at Bristol Motor Speedway. Let you listen into the TV broadcast through the next restart here on the stream.
Yep, and it showed, right? And that thing.
Give my voice a break.
Just feel good.
I need it for the rest of the weekend.
Just go slow. Nothing you can do as a driver. And you know what? That's okay. Like, we want Goodyear to build tires like this. This is a good thing. You want them to wear out, but you don't want them to pop, because then it hurts. Right? If pop, you hit the wall, it's not good. But they build a tire that wears the way we want it to. As a race car driver and a race team, you want that. And then and it doesn't blow out. That's perfect.
And then what do the racers do? They just push those tires to their limit. You know, they had competition costs, they had a stage break, they had other costs. They could have hit it, but they wanted an advantage. They wanted to stay out on the racetrack and gain that advantage, but they wore their tires out. That's what racing is all about. Take care of your stuff and take chances. It's okay.
Well, speaking of chances, Rajah Caruth, he stayed out here, and yeah, I don't know how many laps he exactly has on his tires here, but you know, he's able to get clean air in that truck. I like the call so far. It's a long ways to go on that set of tires, so we'll see what happens. But definitely a chance. Bailey Curry seeing the opportunity that he saw earlier to be able to take those tires all the way to a stage win.
Laps are under cautions, and just for reference, on lap 120, just before the end of the stage, he ran his fastest lap of the race. So he likes this truck right now. Larson's got fresh tires. He could be a lot of fun to watch.
And now the tire wear for this second set of tires for these trucks is not going to be as bad. Right? Track's got some rubber in it. It's not going to wear out as much. That's what the 71 team with Rajah Caruth is intention of.
Kyle Larson got a speeding penalty there. So did the 77. Rajah Caruth will lead him here. Bailey Curry on the inside.
Great restart by Bailey Curry. First time we've seen someone on the bottom be able to hang through the gears, and now they're going to drag race down the back straightaway.
Watch this 11 truck. We've seen him be solid all year long. He said he got one adjustment away from what he wanted. He's right there on the leaders.
Rajah Caruth takes the lead. For the first time tonight. I know, Michael, you were keeping your eye on him. Turned some really good lap time. Blast pitted now on lap 82. They stay out.
Tanner Gray to 15 now. Really loose off of the corner there. Able to find the bottom there and get going.
There's that 38. Got him some fresh tire back in the top 10. See what he could do. We know he was a class of the field early in the race. Oh, Rubbin is racing. That's what they're doing.
And Chandler Smith, we've seen how fast he was. Lost a lot of spots on pit road there. Now he's trying to make those up. First time he's been in traffic all night.
Rajah Caruth, Bailey Curry, Corey Heim, Tanner Gray, Keaton Honeycomb. Your top 5 here as we have 104 laps to go at Bristol.
Ankrum wanted the bottom so bad and pitched him in there. That's such a risky move. You got to trust that guy on the bottom. He's not going to run you up the racetrack there. But you can kind of see why early in the run, the bottom is activated, it's clean, and he wants to be there, and he's going to pinch the inside truck as much as he can to try to get back down.
Gio Ruggiero is trying to get that spot. Oh, Matt grabbed him with a little bump and run. Matt's got a fast truck, and he's not afraid to use it.
Chandler Smith there
Back
in
into the
fifth.
back into the top 5 is Smith.
And we saw his Hornet tires as well, more than ours.
You know what I love about the trucks, Jamie? There's man, you're not.
Jeez.
You look at that damage you did to the front of the 15. Gray's truck's gonna lose that left front fender. That was tight. Well, that was more than tight. You're into the wall.
Yeah, it's being in there pretty good. And
Yeah.
that truck just doesn't seem like it's going fast right now. He had decent track position, but he's falling off very quickly.
See the 7 truck of Corey Day back there mired in traffic penalty.
He's speeding on pit road. Last time in.
He doesn't have much time to get back through the field, right? We see it there, 100 laps to go. And not only on the cleaning penalty, do you not only got to go to the back of the lead lap trucks, you got to go to the tail end of the whole field. So you got to pass all the lap down trucks before you even start making any time up on the cars that are actually for position.
Round Luke House who goes.
He's got to pass all the trucks that are down laps to get to that point, which I think he already has.
Now I can try to start making some ground. You see the trip there. That's the Craftsman Triple Truck Challenge. Larson's going for a different trip. He wants to win all 3 races this weekend and sweep Bristol. But man, he's got a long way to go to get there.
Love that view from HenderCars.com.
Ooh.
Contact there. Oh, turn it to Tyler Apron.
Well, what happened there is Tyler Ankrum just slipped up a little bit, got a little bit high in that traction compound, and Ben Rhodes was on it. And that's the difference of wiggling a little bit at Bristol, losing that momentum, and then boom, the leader or the trailing car that was right behind you would be right all over you.
Yeah, Gray has been able to find some speed. He's still inside the top 10 in that 15 truck. But look at the damage to the front of it. He's doing a great job. Even scrubbed that right front. See the letters on the Goodyear tire? All squeeze play with put on him. Joey, this is the part of the race that you really like. You get some green flag runs going, and you're really going to see who's got the truck to rise to the top. Yasha's run some really fast laps, but he's getting run down.
Well, the tires are starting to show up in the rearview mirror a little bit, and we saw Bailey Curry did a good job of making passes by coming off the bottom. The track's getting closer to the point where you're going to do that. You're going to start catching lap trucks here pretty soon. The opportunity to pass Roger is going to be right there, and he's going to be ready to bounce.
As Raja continues to lead for Spire Motorsports, it's a big weekend for TWG Motorsports. They're one of the co-owners of Spire Racing, and they have racing all over the country this weekend. Dan Telrith and his wife Cassidy.
Oh, no.
As the 5 goes around, that's Tony Breidinger.
Was having such a good run on the lead lap, but this is going to be costly.
That brings out the 6th caution here. Oh, tough break. Not the lucky dog got back on the lead lap. So now what do we do?
We stay out.
Yeah, when in doubt, stay out.
I like that. Should be a song.
Take a look at what happened here. Stuart Friesen on the inside.
Friesen's got some damage in that 52. Oh, no. She was having such a good run, too, on the lead lap, like I said. And into the outside wall she goes.
Didn't do anything wrong.
Stuart Friesen make a little correction on the entry, got a little bit loose there, and came up out of that PJ and just, there's really nothing Tony could have done.
That's about what Connor Mosack did when he spun earlier.
Making her corner.
Guess who we're going to welcome back to the party, Jamie?
Mr. Riggs?
Lane Riggs, our 3-pack.
Gonna put some tires on it and
balls.
Here we go.
Can't wait to see what that trucker right there, Lane Riggs, can do.
Might work out well for him, honestly. Hitting pit road. Should be able to get through the lap traffic a little bit sooner. We haven't seen a lot of tire fall up, but at the same time, Bailey Curry on fresh tires was able to win stage 2. Maintained track position, hitting pit road during the last yellow, is now in second. Raja Karuth leading the race for the first time today. Really weird the way the strategy has played itself out. I would have thought Chandler Smith has had the fastest truck in this race when he's gotten to the lead, but he's been stuck back at fifth the entire run and hasn't been able to move forward through traffic like he did back at stage 1 on the green racetrack. Smith has led 113 of the 163 laps. Raja Karuth has now led the second most laps today with 26. 14 for Bailey Curry, 1 for Corey Heim, and 8 for Daniel Hemrick are the only drivers to lead so far here tonight at Bristol. All of them in the top 7 positions. We'll go through the full field leaderboard real quick here with just less than 100 laps to go. Roger Carruth leads. Bailey Curry is second. Corey Heim in third. Caden Honeycutt fourth. Chandler Smith is fifth. Sixth place, Grant Finger. Daniel Hemrick in seventh. Tanner Gray eighth. Tyler Anker ninth. Ben Rhodes is 10th. Gio Ruggiero is 11th. Excuse me. I don't know why I was going to say 17th. That's a 17 car. That's what I was going to say. That's not right, though. He's in 11th. Jake Garcia in 12th. Matt Kraft in 13th. Jack Wood 14th. Kyle Larson 15th after having the speeding penalty on pit road during the stage 2 pit stops. Corey Day is 16th. Connor Mosack 17th. Andres Perez 18th. Parker Kligerman 19th. Elaine Riggs, who just got the free passes, in 20th. Matt Mills 21st. Dawson Sutton 22nd. 23rd, Tyler Tomasi. Tony Breidinger, who was just involved in that incident, is now 24th. Quite significant damage. I don't know if she's going to be able to continue or not. Lap by lap, she's cycling backwards as her team makes repairs to the race truck. So Luke Fenhouse is now 24. Tony Breidinger 25th. Stuart Friesen 26th. Nathan Bird 27th. Justin Carroll 28th. Patrick Staropoli 29th. Frankie Muniz in 30th. Spencer Boyd 31st. Brandon Jones 32nd. Ty Majeski 33rd. Norm Benning 34th. And Stefan Malozzi 35th. That rounds out our field. Again, under caution for the 6th time today. Our first time at stage 3. You're listening live on KRC.
Time for under caution for the 6th time. 86th lap to go. Raja Carruth is your leader. Let's check in the top.
Yeah, Kyle Larson and crew chief Daryl Clark decided to come in pit. They felt like, what they saw with the tires and the drop off in the tread, the way it was wearing out, they felt like they just needed to come in. They didn't think at the end of the run, the end of the race, they were going to have enough front tires left on that truck. So they put 4 tires on.
There you have it. Well, I mentioned TWG Motorsports, who one of the owners of Spire Motorsports. What a busy weekend they have, and a very impressive racing portfolio. They own a team in Formula E, the Andretti IndyCar team. They have the newest F1 team that was recently announced that'll be on the grid starting next year. The owner, Dan Towers, and his wife, Kathleen, are on the pit box right now. And Josh, they're racing from the East Coast to the West Coast this weekend.
Yeah, it's an exciting weekend for them, and I got a chance to catch up with Raja Carruth before the race. And when he talked to me about Saturday, he said, I'm really excited for this. I'm going to get a chance to test out a Formula E car. I have no idea what to expect, but it's going to be a great experience, a great weekend all around for Spire Motorsports and TWG, of course. And in terms of this race tonight, obviously right now, Raja in the lead, but important to note that the 71 truck right now is 40 laps short on fuel, so they will have to pit again.
Oh.
Unless they have a lot of cushion, and we've seen that before, but 40 is a lot to stretch it. They pitted on lap 62.
You were right, Mikey. You need my glasses.
Does that say 82 or 62?
82.
Jeez.
Monitor's a little fuzzy, foggy, soupy.
I guess I'm trying to figure out why you wouldn't pit right there, and you're just hoping that you're either one going to get a bunch of cautions and make it, or two, you're going to have much newer tires when you do put them on.
I don't understand that quite either, being that many laps short.
Okay, I'm seeing Daniel Hemrick there, last race winner. He's back up to 7th. Remember, his truck had gone away handling. They were able to get those fresh tires. Now he's made up some good track position.
And our man Lane Riggs, we know how fast he is. He's back on the lead lap after those problems early. A lot of good stories here. This thing's far from over.
Here's Lane restarting back in 19th. Raja Carruth restarting here on the outside of Bailey Curry. We got
4:45. Nothing stops us here tonight in Bristol.
3 wide behind him.
See Corey Heim there on the outside. He's going to try really hard to make this pass happen. Bill Curry, he did squeak it down. What a move by Corey Heim to be able to get down into second place. Now he's in the catbird seat, just like that.
With the Grand Enfinger looking up top, trying to make things happen.
Behind him, Kyle Larson making it 3 wide again, trying to break into the top 10. He's fallen outside the top 10 after that speeding penalty. You see him right there battling for 12th with Gio Ruggiero in the 17.
He's got those new tires, so you got to think maybe they're worth a little bit here as he's going to try to move his way through the field as quickly as possible. If anyone's going to do it, Kyle Larson's going to make this strategy work.
Way up high, you see Grant Enfinger finish that 2024 season off on a strong note, and he is strong here tonight at Bristol.
He's been so good this season. What a difference a year makes. Second year with the team.
We just got better and better all last year, and that's carrying over.
I feel like that's how he's been tonight too, Michael.
See, here comes Chandler on 45 trying to do something with Honeycutt.
It's crazy the differences, right? Chandler Smith was able to be up front, get all that clean air, have these big restarts, and all the fastest trucks haven't migrated all the way to the front yet. Everyone's got an opportunity to work on their trucks now. Has a bad pit stop, and he's just kind of stoked now, right? He's running 6 spot, throughout the first, this whole third stage so far. It hasn't really made up any time. He still looks strong, right? Obviously, he looks like he's moving forward. He has a truck that can probably go up there and lead. It's just getting there. That's the hard one.
Chandler Smith spent some time with them this morning and he talked about this team. This deal came together last minute. He got the call in November and said, all right, I'm going to sign a contract with the front row, but we don't know if it's going to be Cups. And he decided they're going truck racing, and I believe they hired their crew chief there, but they've learned, they've bonded, and guys, they've been running top 10 week in and week out, and they dominated tonight earlier.
And he is fast right now, too, making this move. Joey talked about how hard it is once you get higher back to make moves. But that 45 truck's been really fast all night, too, and he's putting him away.
He did a good job staying patient on the bottom, pressuring the 45 of Honeycutt to try to just wiggle him up bottom a little bit to get his nose there, and was able to make that pass. Nice, clean Bristol pass.
That's a rare, aren't they?
As the track gets wider, it's not as rare. But right now, this looks like there's one lane.
You know, Hendricks picked up his pace, too. He's closed in on Honeycutt. Honeycutt just pulls away. So.
Good. Daniel Hemrick had a little wiggle there in the middle of the corner, and like I said, a little wiggle here, you just lose so much distance. He's got these big lifts, big corrections. You're like, oh, there goes two truck lanes.
How much of a timing racetrack is this? You know, you talk about Melville, but once you get your rhythm, is it a rhythm racetrack when you drive here, Joey?
Yeah, I mean, just you're clicking off laps so fast. You kind of get going. You say, okay, my truck's working good on the bottom right now, or maybe I can make the top work a little bit on the top. You kind of keep going back and forth, trying to find the right lines for you. And yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a rhythm.
Here there's a little tension brewing between Jake Garcia in the 13 and Matt Craftsman.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Nutty?
We should have let him around me. Of course he wants you to pull over and let him go. Don't do it. You know, we had
Teammate Michael.
Former team owner, that's kitchen. You know, that's the stuff you don't want to have to deal with as a team owner. These guys battled at Bristol, and Matt's having he's got a fast truck, and he wants to do something with it, and he felt like he got held up by the 13th. It looks like Jake's got a lot of pace, too. He's been able to put a few truck lengths on Matt.
Yeah, listen, it's one of the weirdest relationships in all sports, right? It's your teammate, you work together. The only way you're going to win is if you work together. But, oh, yeah, I got to compete against them, too. Like, it's really weird. You think of other sports, you're on the same team, you win together. Here, it's like, yeah, we went together, but kind of not really. Like, it's just a really unique position for all the teams, right? Not just the driver, but the crew chiefs, all the guys working on the trucks. It's really tough to navigate that relationship sometimes. And the best thing you can do is just talk, right? Like, you got to talk about these scenarios and try to work through it. Because there's nothing else like it.
Are you and Brad Kozlowski closer now that you're not teammates than when you were driving on the same team?
Probably about the same, actually. Yeah, probably the same. We work really well as teammates, and Blaine and I work really well. Austin and I work really well, and you start to know each other's tendencies, their personalities, how their cars typically drive, and you try to you know understand that stuff to help yourself, right? Because that's ultimately what a teammate's there for, right? To push you, and ultimately they can take something from you, you can take something from them, and hopefully a Penske car wins more often.
Well, speaking of teammates, this Easter, the UFL takes over spring weekend with a Fox football extravaganza. First Friday at 8 Eastern, Memphis takes on the Michigan team. Then Saturday,
The Michigan team. Should-
they have 5 San Antonio versus DC. It's on next weekend on Fox. Little football action. I already mentioned we're going to be racing trucks at Rockingham, going back to the Rock. Looking forward to that. And then you guys, the Cup guys, get to take the weekend off. And that'll be your last weekend off, Joey, for 28 weeks.
That is why I'm not going to Rockingham. Taking that weekend off. I didn't even think about doing that or asking my wife if that was okay. I said, nope, we're going to the beach.
What about this battle for the lead? It's been so interesting to me to see the night of Corey Heim. He fell back early. They thought they might have had a flat tire. Then Raja takes a chance, gambles on strategy, and gets the lead. He's holding it. And then look in third place. Bailey Curry is looking all over this racetrack, Joey, trying to find somewhere that he can get some grip to make a move. I think he might be the fastest.
Looking for a way around. And you got to start thinking this point of the run. Can I move up off the bottom? And where's the lap trucks at? Right? How can I use the lap truck as a pick? Right? Being able to kind of move around and pin Corey Heim in a bad spot to where you can force them to make a bad decision and capitalize on that. And Corey's trying to do the same thing to Raja, and look right in front of him. Here they come. Here comes the lap trucks.
And Raja, I hope you're right about one thing, Joey. Earlier you said the tire wear will get better and better. He's got a lot of laps on those good years. He's hoping that you're right and the tire wear will get better.
Well, he's not getting the cautions either because we hear he's short on fuel as well. So he's banking on needing cautions, and this has been a pretty long run.
It's such a great battle, those three scoping each other out, trying to figure out how to make the move.
Raja Karuk now has led 62 laps, the most laps he's ever led in a race. You've got Corey Heim, Bailey Curry just breathing down his neck.
And Joey, for a young racer to do this at Bristol, that's what it means more to me here than anywhere else. You get it done at Bristol, you feel like you can get it done anywhere, and he's doing it right now.
It's just tough, right? Like Bristol, that's what I think. The last great Coliseum, it's just a tough place. And there's nothing like winning at Bristol. You pull your truck up on top of the roof of the media center. It's iconic. You hear the fans yelling and screaming, booing, cheering, the whole night. It is really cool.
And you get that sword.
Yeah, you get the sword. Yeah, really cool trophy here, like an iconic old school trophy. I think the trophies that never change are always, I feel like, more special.
I really feel like that the tires are giving up on that 71 because we're seeing Corey really start to eat him up.
50 laps goes by pretty quick, but there's a lot of things that can happen in this amount of time.
I just think about how drastic things got at the end of that other stage, the second stage, when everybody's tires were falling off at the end. Do we see that again?
You see, he's already got 121 laps on his tires. That is a long time.
Joe, you out that 6 swords, 6 trophies from this place. You've won in 3 series. You've won on dirt in a truck. You won on dirt in your cup car.
You're helping me out. The good thing is I don't know, and that's a good problem.
At least you got it. You how many close ones you lost, you could probably name those.
I can name a few here that I feel like we should have won.
I broke the game here once.
Oh,
Did.
Michael,
You're lucky to be sitting here with us right now.
I'm happy to be here. It's just every day's a blessing. To get to watch these trucks battle like this, right up front for the win at Bristol, to get that trophy you talked about, just great racing.
Michael, that was the worst crash I've ever seen. And you walked away and gave an interview afterward.
Yeah,
There was nothing left of his race car.
Typical Mikey way. Get the interview right afterwards.
And like a sponsor. True professional. Just 43 laps to go here from Bristol. Rajat Karuna continues to lead. Corey Heim, look step aside. You won't miss a thing as we go side by side.
All right, so with about 40 laps to go, interested to see when exactly Roger Carruth comes to pit road. Their pit crew was expecting them to be about 40 laps short, so I don't think it's going to be too long before he surrenders the lead, whether it would be because he gets passed by either Corey Heim or Bailey Curry within a half a second of him, or if he has to pit, surrendering the lead because he's coming onto pit road. Corey Heim sits in second behind our race leader, Roger Carruth, who has led the second most laps so far tonight. Bailey Curry's in third, as I mentioned already. Grant Enfinger's quietly up in fourth, and then Chandler Smith rounds out the top five in fifth. Caden Honeycutt is in the sixth place position, seventh for Daniel Hemrick, who started on the pole. Tyler Ankerman eighth, Kyle Larson ninth, who has not even touched the top five yet today. Jake Garcia rounds out the top 10. Matt Crafton in 11th, Corey Day 12th, Lane Riggs 13th, Tanner Gray 14th. 15th is Gio Ruggiero, Jack Woods 16th, Ben Rhodes 17th. 18th place for Andres Perez, Parker Kligerman 19th, Matt Mills in 20th is the first truck off the lead lap. Dawson Sutton in 21st, Tyler Tomasi 22nd, Luke Fenhouse 23rd, Stuart Breeze in 24th, and Connor Mosack in 25th. 26th for Tony Breidinger, Justin Carroll 27th, 28th Nathan Bird, Patrick Staropoli 29th, Spencer Boyd 30th, 31st Frankie Muniz, Brandon Jones 32nd, Ty Majeski 33rd, Norm Benning 34th, Stefan Malozzi 35th. Everybody, see here, looks like everybody from Nathan Bird in 28th on back out of the race. So as of right now, 7 DNFs. 6 cautions in this one for 51 caution laps in an originally scheduled 250 lap race. We're currently working lap 216. 6 cautions, one of them in stage 3. We had one in stage 2, 2 for incident in stage 1, the 2 stage yellows at lap 65, lap 130. Most laps led so far in the race today would be the driver in 4th now, Chandler Smith. He has led for 113 laps. Our current race leader, Roger Carruth, has led for 80. 14 laps led for Bailey Curry, who was a Stage 2 winner. Chandler Smith won Stage 1 and Route 2, having all those laps led. Daniel Hemrick from the pole in 6th has led for 8 laps, 1 for Corey Heim on a restart. And that is it, I believe. Those are the only drivers who have led any laps in today's race. So 5 of them total, and again, 4 lead changes. Nobody's led more than once so far. 32 laps to go at the start-finish line, this time by for race leader Roger Carruth. You're listening live on KRC to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at Bristol. Lane Riggs battles Matt Crafton for 11th on the racetrack. Riggs pitted for fresh tires during that last caution as a way of after getting the free pass. He's got about 30 green flag laps less on his tires than everybody else in the field other than Roger Carruth, who's on even older tires than that, who stayed out of the pits during the Stage 2 yellow, which is why he leads the race still. Heim and Curry have been close to him for a lot of this run, but have not been able to power past. And the truck that had the fastest speed back in Stage 1 in the long run, Chandler Smith, is gunning all of them down at the front of the field as he works the outside lane of the racetrack. Gets by Bailey Curry for 3rd that time through turns 1 and 2. He's all over the back of Heim. Heim to the outside quickly for the lead now on the 71. And Carruth might lose the lead before having to pit. Corey Heim credited leading that last lap of the line as a nose out in front of the 71 and finally clear off turn 2 with 28 to go. Chandler Smith's turn to now get by Carruth to try to get into 2nd and keep after Corey Heim for the race lead. Smith is rolling the corners better than Heim. Heim moves to the bottom of the racetrack, surrenders the top, and here comes Chandler. Smith with a run off turn 2. Stays to the outside again. Corey Heim takes care of the bottom lane of the track through 3 and 4. Lap truck in the 42 up high. Going to be used as a pick here. I don't think Chandler Smith's going to be able to get by the lapper. He's trying to move the lap truck out of the way and does, but loses the lead. Carruth barely holding on to 3rd on top of Bailey Curry as the 3rd and 4th place trucks are losing the top 2 of Corey Heim and Chandler Smith. 25 laps to go at Bristol. And we've got a heck of a battle going on for the race win. Caden Honeycutt quietly is moving up through the field along with Kyle Larson in 5th and 6th, less than a second and a half off the lead. And the longer it takes for Chandler Smith to get by series veteran Corey Heim, the more of a chance we're going to have for Honeycutt and Larson, who are definitely working well in the long run also. 23 laps to go at the line this time by. Heim up to the outside. Chandler Smith blocked again, and the caution lights are on. We're under yellow for the 7th time today. And it might be for the 66 of Luke Fenhouse. He was slow on the racetrack.
I'm wondering if it's weather. And that's what we're hearing. It's
Trying to listen in.
it's not a lot.
Don't see anything on the windshield there for Kyle Larson.
You can see
Out there.
the lights hit it just right. You can see it just a little bit of water. NASCAR taking the conservative approach, which is the right one.
Little bit of mist. We pretty much have that all day long. But what makes this exciting is if it continues to do this, NASCAR does have the option to go to the wet weather tire.
Oh, no.
Now the team
Yeah, it is
had
raining.
to have 2 sets mounted for tonight. See the rain.
Not a lot of rain, but it is raining. 21 laps to go, under caution for the 7th time today, and we might have the wet weather tires coming on for the finish of this race. Oh boy. Oh boy. That would be if we start to lose the racetrack. I don't know what the call is going to be here.
Right there for those last 25 laps or so. And we're still going to get to watch a battle, I think.
And right behind those guys, Kyle Larson has clawed his way into the top 5 in that 07 truck.
Mr. Where did he come from?
And Larson has fresher tires than everyone ahead of him. What do you think about that?
I think he's hoping that they just red flag this thing right now and stop pacing off the laps or go back green because you can't pass any under caution.
So we talked about Corey Heim and what he's done the last 2 races. Let's go back and take a look at the domination. I mean, between the 2 races, he led over 225 laps. Here he is. This is the Miami truck race. This was crazy, Joey. You called this in the drivers only broadcast.
This one was unbelievable. Having some electrical issues and get to the hit in such a fast truck, get to the lead and shut off, get back to the lead, shut off. And here you see with a flat tire in Martinsville.
Just so dominant, Martinsville. Flat tire late to go and still drove back to 6th position. It's just been an amazing season for this guy.
It's just fast.
Yeah. He's a cup star in the making.
Absolutely.
Even on a night like tonight where he doesn't have the fastest truck and the guy chasing him from behind, Chandler Smith did, he was able to hold on long enough, got a caution, buys him a few extra laps under the yellow. And we'll have to wait and see if he's going to have to try to win this race on the rain tires or if he's going to have to win it outright the way it is right now. Laps are still clicking away under caution. So wait to see what the protocol is going to be here. I don't think NASCAR's got a say in whether the teams throw wet weather tires on. Now that we're under caution for rain, I believe it's up to the teams to decide whether or not they want to take wet weather tires. There are a lot of trucks still on the lead lap. Let's take a look here. 19 of them. Dawson Sutton at 20th will get the free pass. Decisions.
Your 12 wins at Bristol.
Almost beat the 7 in a row record. I don't think that happened. Yeah.
So talk about old school. I mentioned Rockingham. We're going back to the Rock next Friday.
Oh, Rock. Who's cooking?
Been a minute. Well, Cup Gardens right there, but we're going back with the trucks. And last time they raced there was 2013.
Good one.
Kyle Larson.
Stop it.
Second.
Stop it. I remember the race. I should have won it. I'm looking forward to watching it next week, though.
Me too, man. Rockingham. And I talked to some of the drivers. They were just, and look, Roger's on pit road. But real quickly, they said speed at Rockingham. You're just so much grip.
Well, Roger Carruth got the caution. He didn't have to pit under yellow, or under green rather, and lose a couple laps.
Right there, but we're going back with the truck. And last time they raced there was 2013.
Good one.
Larson.
Stop it.
Second.
Stop it.
I just realized that it just booted me back like a minute on the broadcast. Maybe more. It's done that a couple times to me tonight on Hulu watching the truck race. Keep having to rewind it, or fast forward, I should say, to get back to live. It'll lag for a little bit, but then after the lag, it resets me back a few minutes. I was 4 laps behind towards the end of stage 2 at one point. All right. The racetrack is not lost by any means at this point, but at what point does it become lost? And are you at risk of losing control with the slick tires? Most of the teams that did just come to pit road did take pressure slicks. I don't think anybody put rain tires on. Still under caution, 16 to go.
He's 5th right now, depending on where he chooses coming up here this lap. And he's going to have a good restart. The lane in front of him is going to have to move. He's going to have to rely on a little bit of what the trucks are doing in front of him to get going, right? He's not the leader. He's not in full control. So he's got to try to weave through the traffic, and will the top come in that quick? Right? He got to go in late in the run. It's going to go back to the bottom. So here comes the choose.
It's gonna be if he has to go to the bottom, I don't think he's gonna love it.
See Chandler Smith taking the front lane.
That one's down to the bottom. See there?
Yep. So I don't think that's a bad spot. I mean, he gains a row, right? And he was 5th. His option was to pick behind the 45 of Honeycutt, which would have been where Riggs is. So definitely the right choose, yes. And it's going now he's relying on Chandler Smith to have a good restart. And those two are going to be racing each other in front of him.
And we know how fast Smith is, so there's a pretty good chance he's
Yeah.
going to get a great restart. We saw those great restarts earlier. Those were on the outside, though, but Chandler's a veteran. He'll get it done.
And this is an old tire restart, right? Tire wheel spin. That is a good possibility of happening here.
Reminder, it's a triple truck challenge night. Daniel Hemrick picked up the $50,000 at our last race at Martinsville. High finishing eligible driver, which could be either of those drivers on the front row, will take home 50 grand tonight. Well, added incentive. 50 grand goes a long way in the trucks.
So a lot of incentive. Have we seen our last caution? That's another question.
Big.
Well, I don't know about that. Green flag is going to be back in the air. Pretty good restart on the inside for row 1 for Chandler Smith. It actually looked like Corey High might have stalled out on the restart, and he may lose the race lead. 4 wide up off the exit of turn 2. Oh my gosh, they're stacking up big time. What happened to the 44? Caution flag is out yet again with 14 to go, and I'm not sure why they waved the yellow quickly.
And as the leader as of now,
And I don't know what the caution was for.
they kept it all straight. To Michael's point, we've got Andres Perez, quite a bit of damage in the 77. He brings it down pit road.
Well, I asked the question, would there be another caution? And the answer was yes. Quickly. I think they're showing Chandler Smith as the leader.
Wow. And now he's going to have the preferred lane and control on the restart. He did a tremendous job getting up through the gears and was able to get it positioned down into turn 1, which we haven't seen that for the bottom row the whole night.
Andres Perez with some damage. What a restart for Smith.
What happened to Bailey Curry?
Bottom there.
He missed a shift?
It just motors it. Just drives it, gets positioned right there. Now, yeah, the bottom's not in yet, but when the caution came out, they go back to the last loop. There's loops around the racetrack, and the last one you went through while it was green, and that's how they score you. And you can tell that, Chandler Smith was out in front at one point. I hate to say it, but that's been the story of Corey Heim's year so far. Just fast in position, and it just little things like that didn't go his way. So the caution comes out 3 seconds later, he's back in the lead.
What a tough end of the night for Bailey Curry.
Todd, what are they saying?
Yeah, 44. We think that the transmission broke. We don't know if it just jumped out of gear, but there's definitely something wrong with the transmission. We can see it. He's trying to get it going there and it won't go.
Oh, career night for Bailey Curry.
I got to tell you, Todd, it's amazing they didn't pile up. Because when the 44 broke, they were 4 wide. He stopped right off turn 2, and just a crazy pile up behind him. Eventually brought out the caution. We're going to go back to racing with less than 10 to go, guys. And It'd be crazy again.
And now Larson is up to third. Riggs is now fourth. Right? Like a little bit newer tires. Don't forget that part.
Yeah.
And they're gonna. I would assume Chandler's gonna take the top. I think. And it's either gonna open the front row, which I think if I'm Corey Heim, I'm taking the front row. You can't give up the front row on a final restart with less than 10 to go. So then Larson's going to be in the most likely the second row on the top.
And we know how much he likes the top.
This race is not, it's far from over. I don't think that can happen.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say we haven't seen our last caution because of the wildness of these restarts. What about Scott Riggs' son Lane? He's come from a lap down to be in a position to win
Yeah.
this race late. I just love it.
He's done a great job, and we've seen this from Lane Riggs many times. He's a tremendous racer.
Yeah, Lane had
a lot of
the
potential.
free pass at the end of stage 2.
It's just he's a smart racer. He doesn't
Actually, I think it was the first caution of stage 3.
Talk about driven by speed. Keanu Reeves versus Cody Jones. He's an insider behind the scenes. The two of them go together. They race head to head in the Toyota GR Cup. It's a high stakes race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I was there, saw the race. It was so fun to watch these two. I actually raced against Keanu Reeves. Like, that's his jam. He loves racing, but you have to watch it. It's Sunday night, 9:30 Eastern, right here on FS1. Yeah,
Love it.
those guys have a lot of fun, and they were jacked up watching their buddy.
Joey, you said that Roger had to adjust his goals and just say, okay, we have a pin here, we got issues. A top 10 would be a good goal. Well, he's 10th. Do you think he's changed those goals now?
Well, now you change it to top 5. All right. I mean, you got to adjust your goals once you achieve them. Here's the choose. Just as we expected, Corey Heim took the front row. Larson is going to be second row outside.
Yep, Kyle Larson back in contention for another win in just his second truck race of the season, trying to go 2 for 2. He's going to be outside of row 2 on this next restart. Front row in front of him, Chandler Smith, Corey Heim. Heim on the inside, Chandler Smith on the outside. Chandler Smith was not the control truck on the last restart. On the inside, got to the lead before the time of the last caution. Chandler trying to do the same thing here. But now he's in the preferred lane with 2 drivers on fresh tires behind him. Not just Kyle Larson, but Lane Riggs on the inside of row 2 also pitted the same time Kyle Larson did for those tires. Took a long time to get to where they're at, but they've got a shot. Chandler Smith, who probably has the best truck in the field, will have slightly older tires trying to hold him off. If he can get by Corey Heim first, green flag's in the air. Great restart for Heim. Or not so much, I should say, for Heim. Chandler Smith, on the other hand, was able to fire off and clear into turn 1. Kyle Larson's going to get by Corey Heim for second after Corey had spun the tires out of the restart zone. Heim blocks Lane Riggs. Riggs almost got against the wall, had to lift and loses a couple positions of his own and falls to 6th place. Anchorman Rhodes get by. Larson continues to work the outside of the racetrack through turns 1 and 2. He goes down to the bottom of the racetrack, though, through 3 and 4. Now he's in the wake of the dirty air with the driver leading it of Chandler Smith. Corey Heim is able to regain his position in the running order in 3rd, right behind Larson. Not a lot of laps left for Larson to try to get after Chandler Smith for the lead. This is the highest Larson's been in the running order all night tonight. 4 laps to go. Down the back straightaway. Definitely looks like Larson's truck's not handling quite as well as Chandler Smith's down at the bottom of the racetrack. Larson seems like his truck is a little too free. It's wiggling around a lot more through the center of the corner. Chandler's truck a lot more steady. Larson, desperation move, going back to the outside near the wall through 1 and 2. He wasn't gaining much ground on the race leader running that line a couple laps ago. Not here as well. He's actually losing ground running the outside. Lead is opened up to nearly a second. White flag in the air this time by for Chandler Smith. He's dominated the day on the laps led side of things. He hasn't led many laps in stage 3, but he leads as the white flag is in the air. Still about an 8 to 9 tenth of a second advantage over Larson. And about that many tenths back to Corey Heim in between Larson for 2nd and 3rd. Checkered flag waving now, and Chandler Smith is the winner here tonight at the Bristol Motor Speedway. First truck win of the season for Chandler Smith, back-to-back for Front Row Motorsports at Bristol with Lane Riggs last summer. And here this spring, Chandler going to get the victory in the 38. Kyle Larson comes home second. He will not be able to pull the triple header sweep this weekend either, despite getting himself into contention late. Larson didn't lead a single lap in this race tonight. I don't know that anybody could have expected that coming in. No practice and qualifying had to have hurt him. Definitely didn't hurt Chandler Smith. He was fast from stage 1. He won the opening stage. And again, dominated the laps led. 127 laps led, just over half the race out of 250. Well-deserved victory here tonight for Chandler Smith. 9/10 of a second margin of victory over Larson. Corey Heim was third. Tyler Ankrum fourth. Ben Rhodes rounds out the top five in fifth. Sixth place for Lane Riggs. Jake Garcia seventh. Caden Honeycutt eighth. Raja Caruth ninth. Gio Ruggiero 10th. Jack Wood 11th. Grant Enfinger 12th. Daniel Heinrich 13th. Parker Kligerman 14th. And Corey Day 15th. Matt Crafton 16th. Dawson Sutton 17th. Tanner Gray 18th. Andres Perez 19th. And Matt Mills rounds out the top 20. Mills was also the first truck to finish one lap down, so 19 drivers finish on the lead lap. Tyler Tomasi 4 laps down in 21st, 7 laps down for Luke Fenhouse in 22nd. Bailey Curry pulled off late with a transmission issue after winning stage 2 tonight. Tough break for him. He was in the top 3. Finishes 23rd. 24th for Connor Mosack. 25th, Tony Breidinger. Justin Carroll, 26th. Stuart Friesen, 27th. Nathan Bird in 28th. Patrick Staropoli, 29th. Spencer Boyd, 30th. Frankie Muniz, 31st. Brandon Jones, 32nd. Ty Majeski, 33rd. Norm Benning, 34th. And Stephen Malozzi rounds out our 35 truck field here tonight. So in total, we actually had 10 DNFs in this race. 8 cautions, 6 lead changes, 66 laps under yellow out of 250. 1 hour, 50 minutes, 31 seconds total time on the race today. A huge burnout on the front stretch for Chandler Smith and a Polish victory lap to boot in front of the Bristol crowd, which toughed out very, very cold temperatures here tonight. Again, sub 40 degree wind chill all night long. Commend all those in the stands for that one. Definitely had to be cool. But they saw a pretty good race, I'd say. Maybe not the best Bristol race for the Truck Series, but it was a good race. No shenanigans this weekend like we had in Martinsville a couple weeks ago. The guy who dominated ends up getting the win. Jimmy Clements, thanks for tuning in, pulling for Parker Kligerman. 14th after starting dead last. Not bad for Parker. And 75 team. Try to fast forward to the interview here. I had another lag spike on Hulu. Interview might have already happened, but I don't want you to miss anything of it from our race winner, so that should be playing here in a couple of moments.
Is Chandler Smith multiple tonight? 120 spins. And Josh is there.
Chandler Smith celebrating with the team his first victory since returning to the Truck Series, putting on an absolute dominant performance out here tonight as he continues to celebrate. It was a great win for this team. Chandler, you talked earlier just about how special this place is for you. I could hear the excitement from you over the radio. You got the win and the excitement from the team. What did this one mean to you tonight?
I'm more excited for this team than I am for myself. This group came together. We hired my crew chief 3 weeks before Daytona. Take that in for a second. This group just got assembled literally in January. The good Lord works in mysterious ways. My life's been really, really crazy here recently, and there was a lot of unknowns about my future going into this season. And, we kind of had our backs against the wall about just putting a group together last minute, but holy shit, I wouldn't want any different of a group than I got behind me. This number 38 Quick Type Products Ford F-150 was on a damn rail tonight. Thank you guys for coming out. The weather sucks and you guys put up with it. Thank you so much, Bristol. You guys are the best.
And Chandler, you also get $50K through the Triple Chuck Challenge. So how
I forgot about that. That puts the topping on the cake.
Chandler Smith, your winner at Bristol. Todd?
Well, Kyle, two truck races this year. You got a first and a second. What did you need tonight to run with that 38?
I don't know. We fell back there on that long run in the second stage. I got super tight. And then I sped on pit road, I think that next stop, and honestly, that probably helped us because we were still kind of buried for the next caution and we pitted. So we had a little bit of an advantage to get, towards the front. I thought it would be more of an advantage than it was. But still, I think it was a benefit to our race. So, was there, as we were kind of all in traffic and getting ready to race, I maybe had a good shot, but still to get the second's good. So thanks to Spire Motorsports and HenderCars.com, Rick and Linda for letting me and William and whoever else come run this track this year, and it's a lot of fun. So unfortunate not to get the win, but we still have more chance the rest of the weekend, and we'll have some good shots.
Kyle Larson bringing home second, Jamie.
Always good to have Kyle Larson in the field. Nice show tonight. It was easy, that's for sure.
Everybody put on a show, man. This was a great race. So many passes, so much action.
Alrighty, that is going to wrap up tonight's live commentary coverage of the Weather Guard truck race at Bristol Motor Speedway under the lights. And again, congratulations to Chandler Smith for getting the race victory. 6 playoff points to go along with him towards the season championship. Closes in quite a bit, and Corey Heim outscored him in the stages, both of them. Ends up winning the race as well. And he came in minus 36 points, so that race is going to be tighter going into their 7th race of the season at Rockingham next weekend. So we'll have live commentary coverage all next weekend at Rockingham for Truck and Xfinity. Only 2 live commentary streams because Cup Series will be off, so no practice qualifying for the Cup Series and no race next weekend for them as well. As far as this weekend goes, though, we still have 3 more live commentary streams to get you through the rest of the Bristol racing for NASCAR. And we're going to kick things off tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern with our next live commentary stream. That will be NASCAR Cup Series practice and qualifying. That will be exclusively on Amazon Prime, but again, right here on KRC as well. We'll be live for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at 5 p.m. Eastern, and then the main event on Sunday afternoon, 2:30, with our pre-race leading into the live commentary, full flag-to-flag coverage for the NASCAR Cup Series Food City 500 at Bristol 2025 edition. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And again, thank you for everybody that had hit the like button throughout the stream. We did get to our like goal before the end of Stage 2. It looks like we are currently at 58 of our original goal of 50. Actually, just refreshed it. We're at 61 now. Okay, awesome. Be sure to hit the subscribe button as well if you have not done so yet. I didn't mention that much throughout the course of this stream. I try not to compensate with it, but we do have over 50% of viewers in the last month on the channel that watch these live commentary streams every weekend but are not subscribed. So definitely be sure to hit the subscribe button. It does help me out a ton. We are very, very close to 6,000 subscribers. We're less than 100 away, I think. Coming into the night, I know we were. We are less than 70. We're 68 subs away from 6,000. And obviously from that point, continuing the road to 10K on the channel. Hopefully we can get there by the end of the season. Appreciate everybody watching here on the Friday night. I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern. Cup Series practice and qualifying. Have a safe one.